Mr. Slow by Roger Hargreaves. Mr. Slow, as you may well know, or maybe you don't, lived next door to Mr. Busy. He'd built his house himself, slowly. It had taken him 10 years. And as you may know, or maybe you don't, Mr. Slow talked in an extraordinarily slow way. He talked like this. And every single thing he did was as slow as the way he talked. For instance, if Mr. Slow was writing this book about himself, you wouldn't be able to read it yet. He wouldn't even have gotten as far as this page. For instance, if Mr. Slow was eating a bran muffin with raisins for an afternoon snack, it would take him until bedtime to finish it. He'd eat it crumb by crumb, raisin by raisin, chewing each crumb and each raisin 100 times. For instance, last Christmas, it took Mr. Slow until New Year's Day to open his Christmas presents, and then it took him until Easter to write his thank you notes. Oh, he was a slow man. Now, this story isn't about the time Mr. Slow went on a picnic with Mr. Busy. That's another story. No, this story is about the time Mr. Slow decided to get a job. He read all the job advertisements in the Sunday paper, which took him until Wednesday, and then he went and got himself a job as a newsman on television. Can you imagine? It was very embarrassing. "Good evening," said Mr. Slow. "Here is the 9 o'clock news." It took him until midnight to read it, and everybody who was watching went to sleep. So that job wasn't any good, was it? Then Mr. Slow got himself a job as a taxi driver. "Take me to the railroad station," cried Mr. Uppity as he jumped into Mr. Slow's taxi. "I have a train to catch at 3 o'clock. "Okay," said Mr. Slow and drove off at 1 mile an hour and arrived at the station at 4 o'clock. So that job wasn't any good, was it? And that summer Mr. Slow got a job making ice cream. But by the time he'd made the ice cream, it wasn't exactly the right kind of weather to be selling ice cream. Brr. So Mr. Slow got himself a job making woolen scarves. But by the time he'd finished making the scarves, it wasn't exactly the right kind of weather to be wearing scarves. Phew. Poor Mr. Slow. He went around to ask the other Mr. Men what he should do. "Be a race car driver," suggested Mr. Silly. Can you imagine? No. "Be a train engineer," suggested Mr. Funny. Can you imagine? No. "Be a speedboat driver," suggested Mr. Tickle. Can you imagine? No. But then Mr. Happy had an extremely good idea. Most sensible. "Be a steamroller driver," he suggested. And today that is exactly what Mr. Slow does. Slowly backward and slowly forward he drives, up and down and up, ever so slowly. The next time you see a steamroller doing that, look and see if Mr. Slow is driving it. If he is, shout to him, "Hello, Mr. Slow, are you having a nice time?" And he'll wave and shout back to you. "Yes, thank you," he'll shout. "Goodbye."